Good morning, everyone. It's so glad to see so many of you on here. I'm just so excited that that you guys are willing to join us on this day when you have such a crazy world that you're living in. We know you've got so many things pulling you in so many different directions, and this is just evidence that you are thinking beyond your classroom and thinking of the big picture and how that impacts your students and how that can help you grow and help your program get stronger as well. So we rely on your input so much to help direct and guide us in the directions that we need to be going. And you're such an important factor in what we do from the standpoint of the agency. So thank you for attending and participating today. Just a few things to get us going this morning. We have a few more that are still coming into the session. So I don't want to get started too deep into this until we make sure we've got everyone lined out. Paxton has put a link to a SurveyMonkey. That's simply our sign-in sheet. It's just going out and signing in your name and your email just so that we have an attendance list that's not mixed into the chat somehow. So this just makes it simpler for us to have an attendance sheet. So please, if you would go out and take that, sign into the attendance sheet, if you would, please. They'll just take a couple of seconds. There's going to be some movement that's going to happen throughout after we get through with our main part of our session. We're going to move into focus groups. And as Paxton was noting this morning, there's a new feature in Zoom that allows us to, or allows you as individuals to pick the room that you're going to go into rather than Paxton. She's always had to be the maestro that takes people into rooms, and that takes a little bit of time. But it's also going to allow us to move in and out of rooms. So that'll make it a little bit easier if you want to participate in more than one room. So that's a great thing as well. Another thing I want to make sure that you're aware of, usually the BMITE officer team meets directly following the this advisory council meeting, and the officer team as well as the committees. And that meeting has been postponed until November the 4th. And Darren Lackey is our president this year, and he's set up another meeting on November the 4th. And you'll be getting more information out from him on that. And there are still some vacancies left in some of those committees. And he is asking for volunteers to serve on some of those committees. If you've never been involved with a part of the officer team and the committees, it's a great experience. It's a great way to network with other teachers and have a voice in the direction that the division is going in that regard. I certainly encourage you to participate and become involved with your officer group. So take advantage of that opportunity. If you don't have Darren's contact, Darren, I know he had messaged me privately. If you want to put your information in the chat so that people can reach out to you and contact you directly if they're interested in serving on a committee, that would be great. Anyone that's on that officer team can also assist you with that as well. So other announcements, we're going to be monitoring the chat throughout all of these sessions. And as we have some guest speakers that are going to be sharing with us in a little bit, as you have questions for them or any of us, we'll be responding to those questions as they come up in the chat, and follow along with that. If there's something that we can answer without interrupting the actual speaker, we'll try to do it that way. And let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've left out. That seems like everything that we put together. One of the things too, just to follow up with you on the value of your input and the value of your time today. We try to be really aware of how valuable your time is and the need for you to be in your classrooms. So just know that when you come in and spend this time with us, this is really input that is so valuable to us and necessary for us to get feedback from you directly and hear how we can help you better take care of what you need to do as you're working with your students. So just once again, thank you for that. I'll be introducing the staff a little bit later to you. We don't have any staff changes, so that's still a positive. And I'm always happy when I can say it's the same crew on board, and so that's a positive as well. So we've got a couple of speakers lined up for you today. We're going to hear about the new interactive data that's available to you now through our website. And that's another thing that you need to be aware of. Our website is changing. We all of the state agencies are moving to a similar web portal that we'll all be using. And so there'll be consistency across the state agencies. And we are one of the pilot agencies that will be rolling out the new website soon. So just know that that is in process right now. We're in the process of migrating data over onto this new platform. And so I haven't seen it. I'm hoping that it's so much better than what you're currently working with. I know there's some challenges with what we've currently got in place, and we know that the new one's just going to be amazing, right? It's got to be. So so that's going to be coming out soon. But one of the things that we have right now on our site that I showed to you a little bit in the for Summit, but we've got someone in today that's going to show you a better picture of how you can pull that data. It's just right there at your fingertips now, and there's so much out there that you can access that you may not be aware of that could be very helpful to you in your classrooms. And then we've got another guest speaker that's going to come in, and she's going to share with you how you can take OK Career Guide, which is an amazing tool for you in your classrooms, but how you can actually take it and give you some practical examples of ways you can implement that into your classrooms and be able to show career activities and guidance just within, your students are more inclined to listen to you than someone else, most likely on career guidance, hopefully anyway, but she can show you and provide some examples of how that's going to play out perhaps in your classroom. So Carrie Watkins she is over our CTIM system now, our information management system, and she has been working really hard to put together a platform that will be up to date and is the most current data available where we can pull reports. She's been so great to work with as we have fought through some of the issues with CTIMs and trying to figure out what, how we can make it better and how it can talk better across all of the reporting systems that we have. And then her latest feature that she's been working really hard on is the platform to share out that data rather than having to just make requests to the information management division to pull out reports for us. We can now, not only us as an agency, but you from the field can pull that data simply from the website. So Carrie Watkins, is Carrie on? Has she already?
I am here.
Okay, Carrie, if you are ready, I'm going to turn it over to you to start sharing. And before I do that, I just want to remind the ones that have come into the session, if you haven't already gone out and signed in rather on the SurveyMonkey, the link is still in the chat. Paxton put that link in the chat room so that you could just click on that. It's just simply your name and school and email address. So if you would go out and do that. And then Carrie, I'm going to turn it over to you to share with us your information.
All right. Well, if nothing good has come out of this virtual world that we're living in, I think that I'm a fan of these virtual meetings because I get to invite you guys all to my office. It feels a little more personal than standing in front of you at the Tuttle Center like we did last year. So welcome to Information Management. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you and we'll get started. Can you see my screen? You should see Information Management Division. Do you guys have that?
Carrie, before you get started, something I failed to mention to everyone is that we are recording these sessions. So I just want you to be aware of that. And whenever Carrie is finished with her session, we're going to take just a quick minute to let Paxton take a picture. And if you want to turn your videos on at that point, we can get a couple of good pictures maybe to share out in social media. So if you don't want to be shared in social media, don't turn your video on, but I just give you a heads up there. We've still got a few people coming in, so we'll wait to take that picture in between Carrie's presentation and LaToya's presentation next. So sorry, Carrie, back to you.
That's okay. Okay, so welcome to Information Management. I want to start with introducing my team. We do have a couple of new members. So of course, I'm the manager over here in Information Management. Carol Hall is our Data Performance and Analysis Coordinator. So if you do have data requests, she's likely the one that will fill those for you. Andra Beyer is fairly new to her position. She's our data quality coordinator. So if you are submitting enrollments, something like that, she's likely the person that you will be talking to if you have issues. Lori Richardson, teacher certification specialist. If you or someone on your team needs to get your teacher certification updated, or if you have questions about that process, Lori is the person that you will go to. Technical support specialist is Rebecca Thacker. She is the person, if you contact CTIM support, you will get Rebecca. I don't have her name on here, and I'm so sorry about that. Micah Hickman is our new administrative assistant. She joined us last week, and so we've had a little bit of a restructure over here, and so we're kind of gearing up for how we can make this work and be more efficient, and so she's a great addition to our team. She's already helped us meet some deadlines that we had. So we have a lot of resources for CTIMs. We have a CTIMs page on our website, and it has our deadlines, our guidelines, and video links. It's pretty good. And I can share this with any of you, this PowerPoint with any of you if you would like to have it. It has links and what's available out there. But on our CTIMS webpage, we have a link for our login to CTIMS, just general information, our guidebooks, PowerPoints, and videos, and then due dates and deadlines. And then we also have additional links. So we do have links to like the testing page. So if you need to know what are the approved assessments, or we have things that will link to our interactive data from that page so that you can look up your course and pathways if you're entering your enrollments. So our CTIMS webpage looks like this. And as you can see, you have a little green button that you can go to our CTIMS login, and it has information. Of course, you guys probably already know Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge, the newest version, is the only thing that it's compatible with at this time. And then how to set up your CTIMS account, just general information. But as you scroll down that page, you'll find a place for the K through 12 school resources under that heading, and everything from technical guidebooks and PowerPoints to videos, templates that you might need if you need to submit your enrollments, worksheets to help you collect that information that we're going to ask you to send to us. And then we have a new link on there to our course and pathway interactive data, which I'll show you a picture of in a few minutes. Salary and teaching schedule, all things that you need to know about that. And then of course, student completion and follow-up reports. We also have places for our tech center information, which I don't have that on here, but if you work at a tech center, we have the same resources for you under a different heading. So you can just go to that section and pull up what you need. So interactive data, that seems to be the star of the show lately because it's new. I was able to present to the group last year, several groups actually. And when we presented last year, it was more of a concept than a reality we were building. And so in the past year, we've been able to make that a reality on our website. And as Carrie mentioned, we are getting a new website, and I don't know what it'll look like on there. Hopefully we'll be able to keep it similar, and we'll be able to keep it updated in more real time. And these are the links that will get you there. There's always more than one way to get where you're going. So we do have an interactive data page, and this is the link that will take you directly to it. We have directories out there for tech centers, K through 12 schools, state staff, and it's interactive. So if you know the division that you're looking for, or if you know the name of the person. It'll let you drill down for those different things instead of having to dig through a printed book. And we're able to keep those updated a little more often than we were when we printed the book once a year. You can also access it through our CTIMS page. Just right up in the over here, there's an arrow. The interactive data, you click on that, it'll give you that link for our interactive data page. And so once you get to our interactive data page, we have several different resources that you can access from here. We have our fast facts, our tech center profiles, the districts and campuses by state programs, and you can filter those in different ways. And then of course our K through 12 school districts, skill center information, and then our feeder schools. Sometimes people need to know who are our feeder schools for our technology centers. And so this will let you filter those by school, or if you're looking for a specific feeder school, you can filter by feeder school and it will tell you what tech center they are attending. And then of course our OK Career Guide dashboard. I don't keep this one up. They plug in the data and I just refresh it, so it'll give you more information about our users, who's using it, and those numbers are going up. If you don't know a lot about OK Career Guide, I encourage you to research that because it is a great resource for us. And then of course we have our 2021 course and pathways. This is useful if you are turning in your enrollments. It'll give you a clear idea of what those courses and codes are in the pathway codes. This is actually what our course and pathway interactive data looks like. And we try to give you information in the beginning of how to filter. So you can filter by division, course, pathway. If you're filtering over here in the filters, if you choose your division and filter by that, it's going to break down only those that are associated to that division. And then of course you can choose from the list the course that you're looking for, and it will break this down over here on the left, the table, and it will give you only the course and pathways that are associated to that. And so it's a little easier to define what are you supposed to be plugging into those spreadsheets that you're uploading to us for those enrollments. We do have some things coming soon to CTIMS. We're continuing to build this plane while we're flying it. We're making improvements, we're trying to, and that of course is based on the feedback that we get from you all and our state staff, how you're using it, what is going right, what is going wrong. We always welcome your feedback. And so based on that feedback, we are able to make some improvements, not as many as we would like to, because like I said, we are still building it, but coming soon, we will have work-based learning added to CTIMS. And it's going to be in a place that you are already used to inputting information. It will be a simple form. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Perkins 5, but this is a data collection piece that we have to implement because we're going to be extracting this data and we're going to be reporting this for Perkins 5. And so we're trying to jump ahead and put it in a place where you're already used to inputting data and a place where you're already used to pulling reports. And so that should be ready for release at the end of December. So to all of you in January, and it'll come with instructions and training if you choose to take advantage of that. Like I said, it'll have reports that are built into it. So I know some of you are familiar with pulling reports for follow-up, and it's going to have a section at the bottom of the follow-up report for work-based learning statistics so that you can look at that by program rather than by school. And it'll even break it down into what category the work-based learning was attempted or completed, number of students, and the percentage of your students who participated in work-based learning. This is something that we are trying to jump ahead because this work-based learning piece is going to come into play with several different things, not just Perkins 5. We are trying to implement some training for our end users this year. That's one of our goals. Whether you are at a tech center and work in biz, ACD, or you're a full-time program person at a tech center, SESI, salary and teaching, we're trying to provide you more resources for training for CTIMS because we realize that it hasn't always been user-friendly, and whatever we can do to make that easier for you, just even if it's just learning how to use the system initially, we're always here to help you with that. We have 3 goals in IMD this year. We want to provide quality customer service, quality data, and quality training and training materials. So, of course, if you ever have ideas for improvement, I'm always open to those because we don't use it the way you do. And if we don't use it the way you do, we can't foresee how to make that better. We've had great ideas come from the field this past year, and we're able to implement some of those. Most recently, we've been able to roll out for our state staff a notification system where they can print labels straight from CTIMS based on who they've added to a list. And so that's been a critical piece for us to be able to implement that. It just makes things easier for our state staff. We've had a few things that we've been able to do for our end users out in the field too. But right now we haven't been able to communicate those as well as we had hoped, because in October, you know, we have a lot of deadlines. We have internal deadlines, and you all have deadlines. So at the same time, we're doing SESI, salary and teaching, Biz ACD, full-time program. All of these deadlines are at the same time, and we have new releases coming out with CTIM. So it's been a little crazy lately getting some communication out to everyone, but we are trying, and we're hoping to improve and streamline and be more efficient. So I always welcome your ideas for improvement, always. Do you all have questions? All right, I like silence. Silence is good. And if you would like to have a copy of this PowerPoint, we'll be happy to send that out to you, because it does include the links to our interactive data and the resources that we have available. And I'm happy to send that to you. Okay.
Okay, that was fast, Carrie. That's the fastest I've heard you do that one.
Well, I'm getting better.
Carrie's one of the few people I know that can turn data into something fun. She's always has a smile on her face, and she's always willing to share and share a laugh. So Carrie, we appreciate you coming in and sharing with our group today. And if we get any questions, we'll pass them along to you. And we appreciate all the great support that you provide our teachers through CTIMS. And you know, you mentioned sometimes it can be a challenge. It can, you know, anything related to data can sometimes be a challenge. And so we appreciate your support and help. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So at this time, Paxton, you want to try and get a picture of our group? I think we've probably got about everyone that's going to join us today, perhaps.
Yes, for sure. So if you want to take a photo, if you want to turn on your camera for just about less than 30 seconds, probably, I'll do a countdown and then we'll screenshot our page. Give everyone a second to get settled. Okay, last call for cameras on. Okay, we'll do a countdown, and in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm gonna move to the other screen just in case someone is missed. And in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thanks everyone.
Okay, were you able to get everyone in one screen? Oh, I can't hear you.
Maybe, I'm gonna cross-check it. I think I may have been able to.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you, everybody. Okay, next on our agenda, we have LaToya Miller, who is going to visit with us a little bit about OK Career Guide and how you can apply different lessons and activities in your classroom to career development using OK Career Guide. So LaToya, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning. My name is LaToya Miller, as Carrie says. Thank you so much for introducing me. I'm here today to talk about OK Career Guide and the implementation strategies about OK Career Guide. So I want to try to get my screen up here, if that's okay. Everybody see my screen? Okay, so today what we're really going to go over, my mouse will work with me. You know, okay. We're going to just do a brief introduction. We're going to talk about some available supports, the OKCG assessment. I'm not going to go too into depth about it because I know a lot of you are familiar with that. So I'm really here more just to talk about the strategies of it. We're going to talk about some job readiness tools, some education plans, the student e-profile, the connected business, and Q&A, just if you have any questions about whatever I'm going over. I do talk really fast because I am from the North. And 20 to 30 years living in Texas could not change that. So I apologize. You know, I'm speedy. So if I need to repeat anything, just type it, let me know in questions. I do not mind repeating myself because I know that's my superpower flaw. I just want to take a minute to introduce my team. As you know, I'm part of a threesome. I have AJ Cromwell, who does the connected business. And then we also have Nathan Brubaker, who's like the genius and guru for Cooter Galaxy, which is our counterpart technology for the kindergarten through the 5th grade. So now the whole Cooter program system has a K through 5th grade section online for career exploration. We now also have a 6th grade through 12th grade portion for career exploration. It's an awesome setup. I mean, I advise anybody to attend his trainings. He does them at the end of the month, just like I do, if you want to know more about that. Next, I will introduce myself more into depth. Sorry, my slide was backwards. Let me go back. I come from a tale of two cities. And one of the reasons why I showed this to you is because I want you to understand that I am very familiar with the world that you guys live in. I taught for Lawton public schools. That's how I came by way of career tech. I was a Lawton public school counselor who turned into the lead career counselor. And I was also working for Great Plains. So I had 2 entities that I reported to, career tech and public schools. One thing about me is that I have also been a principal. I've been a counselor. I've been a regular ed teacher. I've been a special ed teacher, and I have taught kindergarten through 12th grade. I also graduated from a magnet high school called Skyline High School in Dallas, Texas, from a BMITE program. So I thank you, ladies, for the job you do every day, because without you, there could be no me. I am what I am today because of women like you on the front line teaching me the stuff that I know today. Now, it didn't show when I flipped that slide, so don't judge me yet, okay? I'm trying. So with that being said, I want to point out that one fact about all our students that are coming to public education is that they've been career assessed. We know that this is the mandatory now. So all of them at some point have seen a career assessment. But the question now that's more abstract is, did they know what that career assessment meant? And that's where the teaching and the implementation is so powerful and so meaningful. A lot of them take tests. They're used to taking tests. They're used to filling in a bubble, but they have no clue how that applies to them in life. They just think, hey, done. You know, I'm sure you've seen them. I'm done. I'm done. Everybody's done. You know, but they have no clue what they just did. And this is where we have to drill. So if in your head, when you thought about, did they really know what it meant? And you came up with the answer of no, then can we truly say that we implemented careers, career pathways, career exploration? If your answer in your own mind is no. So with that being said, I want you to stick a pin in that because I'm going to come back. I'm one of those women. I tell stories and I already introduced my people. Sorry, once again, that was my BMITE slip. I'm human. What does implementation mean? According to Merriam-Webster, implementation is the process of making something active and effective. So if they don't know what this testing meant, it is not active, nor is it effective. And that's what we have to think about. OKCG is like one of the best tools, but until we help students make the connections between the results from their test and how it affects the outcome of their lives, it's useless. A person who has never been taught to be aware of something doesn't know what they don't know. That's why I like this quote at the end of my slide, which says, it's not hard to make a decision once you know what your values are. You know, once you know who you are, you know where to go. But what we're dealing with teenagers who know everything, but at the same time know nothing. So we have to make them aware of that. Most of the students we teach will tell you that they don't possess any talent. I have taught for 18 plus years. And one of the main questions I ask as a teacher, as a principal, as a counselor, before I ever take the floor is, what talent do you possess? Majority of my students tell me, I don't have any. I don't know anything. I'm not talented. My mom says I'm not gifted. They can all tell you where they struggle at, but they can't tell you where they're gifted at. So this testing that they do in career assessment is really powerful by helping them to embrace their own talents, their own strengths, to make them aware of who they are and to have value within themselves for the first time. One of the things that I love about is one of the most wonderful parts of this tool, and the first most in-depth part of this tool, is the assessment. These 3 assessments are the most key things that the students need to take. And you can spend a whole day on just teaching what these mean to the students. It really does help them make that connection between the results of their tests and how it affects the outcomes of their lives, because they don't know what they want to be. You know, most of them, when I first started counseling 5 years ago in Oklahoma or more, maybe 7, I'm sorry, I'm a little old. I used to ask my kids what they wanted to be. And I will tell you that 90% of my kids told me they wanted to be a rapper. None of them have ever wrote a rap. None of them, they didn't even like English class. So we didn't know where we were going. They had no clue. That's one of the reasons why we started giving this assessment so widely in Lawton. We were one of the pilot districts. We started testing before it was ever required, before there was ever a state bill, because we saw such a deficit in our kids that they did not know where they were going. They had these abstract ideas. They were going to be football players, but never play football. And here we are in high school. You know, it was, they have these out of character ideas. So this assessment makes things real. It makes it realistic, because for the first time, they have something inside of them in a neat little package that they own, that they contributed to, that's telling them, you are gifted at this. You are connected to people. You are smart in math. And a lot of kids are very shocked when they see that. They're like, oh my God, you mean I could do better in math? You always could. You just didn't know. You were not aware of what you did not know. One of the things, once the students have identified they've been identified through the pathways testings, I like to take them to this grid. It's on our website. It's the 6 career fields. I like them to see how many options they have that they can choose from within their career field. Because what the first test is going to give them, it's going to either tell them their health or their communication or their industrial, and the students will take that and run with it. But they don't realize if you look deeper into the category, there's even more choices for them. Some of them have as many as 30 choices. Some of them may have 4 choices. You can turn that into a lesson plan where the students pick their top 3 choices under a career field and actually explore what is the income, how many years of college does it take, if it takes college at all. You know, one of the things about me is I hold 7 degrees, and I have an innumerable amount of licenses. I don't even want to talk about it because there was no career field testing for me when I grew up. And one of the things my students are always amazed about, they don't believe that it took me 2 months to get my real estate license. Kids who don't want to go to college don't even realize that's an option. But the only reason why my kids knew is because I had one and I talked to them about it. But this career field testing that you just did with them, you can now go through that with them and help them figure it out for themselves, even if you don't have what I have. This is taking the weight off of you. This is giving you a tool to let kids actually open up the book for themselves, explore it, and get a deeper understanding of what do you want to do? I can pick classes for you all day long, but if they don't relate to what you want to do, it is useless. That's the first thing I learned as a counselor. I loved it when my kids came to me and they said, you know what, Miss Miller, I want to do this, this, and this. That was a kid who took control of their career. Majority of my kids came to me and they were like, you know, just pick me something and throw it over here. That does not work, because they're the ones who have to live it, not me. It is also important to note that if students feel that they are not quite aligned to the correct career field, it could be caused by a couple of things. I'm going to tell you a good old saying in Texas that they gave me when I was a special ed teacher, and I want you to hold it dear and near to your heart. In God we trust. Everyone else must bring the data. So until the students do the work and they are honest with themselves in the assessments that they took, their results will not line up to what they really want to do. First, like I said, if they're not getting alignment, that's the one thing that you really want to look at. Was the student truthful to himself when he took that test? If he doesn't, the test is going to throw him back a bunch of garbage that does not align to him. And he's going to think the test is irrelevant or not valid when actually he took the test in a rush, or she, and they just put some things down that they felt like today. And the test gave them some results it felt like giving them. They can't blame the test. So you want to always reiterate with your students, be as truthful to the testing as you can. It also, if you find that the kids answer the questions really neutral, they give a lot of in-between answers because they don't want to go one way or the other, the test will give them a lot of purple results. If you've seen kids come up and you're like, they get a lot of purple and you're like, it doesn't seem like it's what I want. It's because the child went through and he took the test and he made too many neutral answers. He didn't strongly commit to one way or the other. So it will give them results, once again, that will not align with the student. And another thing is, how well did the student understand the questions? Before giving the test, it's always good for you to go through the test and look at the assessments and just look at the style of questions that are going to be answered. You can make an activity or even a pre-activity out of that. Just talking to them about random questions, helping them to understand what the questions actually mean, because students will mess up their test results trying to answer the question by overthinking it or underthinking it, and it will skew the results. So these are just a couple of things as teachers to look out for when you're giving these assessments so that you can help the students get an actual field result that aligns to what they actually want to do. Once again, I'm a quotes person. As you can tell, my favorite person in my life was an English teacher. She gave me the hardest time in high school, but she was the best thing for me. And one of the things I want to put out in my knowledge base with her is, goals that are not written down are just wishes, which is why, and that's by Fitzhugh Dodson, which is why the second tool that the student has in OKCG is goal setting. If they don't write down what they want to do, they never will achieve it. It'll stay a dream. They'll forget about it. It'll hit the back burner. You know, I'm going to be honest. When I was young, I wanted to be an actress, but I didn't write it down. And as you can see, I skewed a lot because it just was a wish. I didn't make a commitment to it. So I'm telling you to help your students make that commitment. In OKCG, students can make hundreds of goals. There is no limit. It's set up to make sort of like the SMART goal system by types of information solicited from the student, meaning it tries to keep it specific. It gives the students, it wants it to be measurable. It tries to keep it attainable. Like they want them to be as set a goal that you might want in the next year, next 5 years, next 10 years. It gives them ideas of what's attainable. And it makes it time bound. When do you want to hit this goal by? The max character any goal line can handle is 100. That's why you can make hundreds of goals, because as you can see in this area, the max goal line, it can only hold 100 characters. So they can't write some big exhaustive goal that has like 5 objectives. They have to keep it short, sweet, and simple. Or as my science teacher used to say, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Let's stay on point. This helps the students, like I said, with their goals. And one thing to remember as a teacher, this is where you as BMITE teachers get to experience the kindergarten world. Yes, I taught kindergarten. And in kindergarten, what we say is, there's no wrong way. There's no wrong answer. You can do it. You colored outside the lines, that's okay. Your goal is set this way that you just want to graduate. That's awesome. And they love that. Kids love that encouragement. You will get more out of them doing that than you will ever get saying, you know, Tommy, did you really mean that goal? Do you think you might want to tweak it to just this grade level? Don't criticize their goals. Don't invalidate a child's dreams. We don't know why these goals are what they want. Because one thing we know, not everybody came to school with the same opportunities today. Some of them are on a deadline because they live alone. Some of them are on a deadline because they have something they want to prove to themselves. We don't know. So I will tell you, whenever they start doing goals with you, they will do more for you. They will believe more in their goals if you do not put the red tape on it. You do not tell them there's a right and a wrong. You just keep them going. You're just trying to keep them encouraged at this point, especially if the system is new to them, because they are already intimidated that it's new. Some of the resources that I use when I'm doing goal setting is we have a website. The OKCG team has spent a lot of time, especially Nathan Brubaker. I have to give credit where credit is due. The man is like a curriculum guru. I think he wakes up in the morning with a whole lesson plan already ready to go. He is just amazing. And what he's done for you is that he has set up all these lesson plans for K through 12th grade on CTU. We also have an online version for also you BMITE teachers, so I know you know how to go to the online versions of the Direct Your Future. You don't even have to print it out. You don't have to have a workbook. It's all located for you on at ctu.org. All you have to do is go under it used to be CAC Career and what was there? CAC Career and Academics Counseling, but now we've changed our name. We're now the Counseling and Career Department, CCD. So that's where it's located at. And you can pick whatever folder that has your grade level under it. You can download the lesson plans by just simply opening the tab and clicking the download button. It'll download a whole folder down to your own laptop or your tablet. And you can have all those lesson plans to play with and mix and match. I always say these lesson plans make their checklist in there too. You can make the students can have their own portfolio with a checklist that they can physically hold if you want them to, or they can put it in their, if you have Google Drive, if y'all are Google Classroom users, you can actually have them save it in the Google Drive. And then they can actually have an active checklist where they're going through the OKCG system and doing things along the way in other classes that they can check off so they can keep up with their own progress. These also make good bell ringer activities. If you want something for students to come into class and want them to be focused on where are we going today, you know, set up a career development question. Y'all are BitMap teachers. Let me let you in on a secret. Y'all are the wave of the future. We are not getting rid of y'all anytime soon. So anything you ask in the career development section is preparing the students for tomorrow, especially since technology is not going away. I promise you, I am a counselor by trade and education by trade. I have never ever not used what a BitMITE teacher taught me, not 1 year in my careers. And I have been working for over 20 years. Everybody uses me for something technological. Either I'm building Google Classrooms for somebody, or I'm doing a database for somebody, or I'm interpreting a website for somebody. They keep me busy with that one BitMITE education I got back in 12th grade. So like I said, once again, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I'm very thankful. So hopefully you had a chance to get this, the website. I'm going to move on. If you don't, just give me you can always email me or you can ask for the PowerPoint. I would give you this so you can have the access to everything. The next quote I'd like to share with you is something magical happens when you write down your goals. It changes the way you see your situation. Until a student knows that it's possible, they don't know what to try for. And one of the things that I always told my kids in counseling, a person without a goal will do anything because they have no standards. If you want to skip school, they'll go skip school. Why? Because we don't have any standards. We don't know we're going to be a military leader next week. We don't have that established. We haven't wrote that down. If I want to go ahead and participate in something illegal, I'll do it. Why? Because there's nothing in front of me that tells me my life is meant for more. So anything somebody suggests to me is something I want to do. That's why these goals and that's what happens when you write that goal. That's the magic. All of a sudden a standard is established for my life and anything won't fit me anymore. It's easy to overlook the thoughts in the current pandemic state of this country. We have families and students that are hurting like never before. They need the hope. So writing down those goals is their hope. They need something to look forward to. A plan can change their current situation. I will tell you that in Lawton, Oklahoma, when I first came to Lawton High School, we had in the district, I believe, 700 homeless children. At my high school alone, I had 172. I started the campus within a campus program to help them graduate. In 1 year, I graduated 115 seniors who had been in school for 7 years, 30 credits. And you all know it only takes 23 to graduate. And one of the key things that I did was I went through these kind of programs with them. They set a goal in place for themselves. And that's how they got motivated to graduate. That's how they got motivated to be in class, to be in school, to make a future for themselves. We have researched that students who were repeaters, dropouts, and discipline issues, we found that a majority of them were McKinney-Vento. Like I said, the McKinney-Vento Homeless Act, you will have them out in career tech. I have taken numerous students to career tech who were McKinney-Vento students. And you guys do a wonderful job with helping them get resources. They need you. And we were able to change a lot of that by helping these students make plans for their future. Even if it wasn't, even if it was just an immediate future of graduation or an immediate future for having a place to stay or a meal today, it makes a difference. It was a plan. I will tell you that I have tons of folders that I had to shred when I left the educational system because they wrote them down and they committed to it. It's hard for a student to argue with his own words. That's why when they put that goal down on the line, it's hard for them to say, well, Miss So-and-so, I don't want to graduate today. Well, didn't your goal say? You wrote it? That's why I tell you, don't judge them. Don't judge those goals. Encourage them. Because when it comes down to the line, they have a hard time failing their own word. And that's why it's important. The third tool is the Ed Plan. I will tell you that Carrie showed you some things that I'm impressed. Like I said, I hadn't even seen that with the new pathways. In the Ed Plan, the student is basically putting together their year, what they expect to take in classes. If they want to take English, they're going to put it down. Ninth grade, add more, ninth grade, add Latin, whatever. And then they're going to write down what classes they plan to take. I will suggest to any teacher who does this, please do not do it for 4 years total. You will find yourself recreating this plan many times over if you approve it, because it cannot be changed once it is approved. You want students to build a plan by year. So that way, when they start as a freshman, they may build their plan and maybe something will change in sophomore year. Well, then they can make a copy of their freshman year, which stay the same, and be able to edit their sophomore year. And then you can approve that plan. And now you got the 2 years solidified. So that's the smartest way to go about the Ed Plan tool. If you want them to figure out their BMITE, what their BMITE future is, if they plan on, graduating, continuing classes with you guys, well, then that would be the smart way to do it. Make what you're currently taking, and then you can approve it, and then they can make a copy and project what they want to do next year. So when next year rolls around, if that should change, they can still edit it before you finalize the plan. And that keeps them on track and committed to what they said they were going to do. I can definitely take note that in career tech, I have noticed that commitment when I first became a career tech counselor, commitment was a huge issue. I will tell you that in our area, we had at one point only 80 students going to career tech. By the time I served as a career tech counselor for 2 years, by the time I was done, I had 650 applicants before 3 months would even pass by. So they want to come. They want to be there with you. They are looking for a way out of their current situation, whether it be to be independent. I have a lot of students who just want to leave home, or whether it be to actually change their actual financial future or to actually change their own personal outlook on life. They want to be there with you. So this tool is valuable as a counselor. One of the things that I like to use, I'm sorry, me and this scroll bar. You would think that we were friends by now, but we are not. Is I like to, in career tech, even on the OKCG website, we have the 16 clusters. If you go under the counseling and career department, we have a link to the 16 clusters. And you can pull any of these paper career pathway plans. You can pull them for ag. You can pull them from computer services. This could be a lesson that you can do one day with your students, that once they pull their top 3 career fields they want to be in, you can have them then go to the the career tech website and pull the actual paper plans out. And then they can make an ed plan based off of these suggestions. This is good practice, whether they're high school students, whether they're post-secondary students, whether they're on their way to college. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Knowing how to do a crosswalk on my own saved me many days in college. And this is really what this is. It's crosswalk practice. It's valuable. Another tool, if you don't like doing paper, because like I said, I know you are my tech savvy women. You probably have the latest in Androids and iPhones. Kudos to that. Is one of the counselors over at Moore High School built one. And if you Google Moore High School career chart, this is an interactive one. All you have to do is simply click on either of the career fields, and it will give you the high school equivalent of what classes they need to take in order to get this certification. I love this chart. It is one of my favorite things to play with. So I will tell you, her name is Micah, and she's over at Moore High School Public Schools, and she developed this very interactive, tech savvy career technology, career tech plan field, and I love it. And if you have students who don't want to do the paper thing, then I would suggest all you have to do is Google it and pull it up. And then all the kids can just use it straight from their computers. And you don't have to print anything. It can be a total online experience for your students. It's just up to you, however you want to do it. And it aligns to, and you see all the career tech fields are being added. The only one who is not here is the new career cluster we've added, which is the energy career cluster. And they will be debuting that information on the 20, I believe today at 2 p.m. as they're having a webinar about it. So if you want to know about that information, that's coming. I'm sure as soon as Micah sees it, she'll probably add it to this too. But if not, you will have ability to pull those pathways by themselves and explore them on paper until we can get them there. This is not a resume, but the evolution of passion throughout the years of diligent work on the way to becoming an expert. And as you can tell, the fourth tool is resume. OKCG has one of the nicest resume e-portfolio setups I've seen almost ever. You can let the students, you can actually choose what career fields that you want the students to be able to see and fill out. If you have freshmen, you may not want them to see everything all at once because it's overwhelming to them. You may want to pick like 3 career fields and have them focus just on that. And then gradually as the year progresses, they will build out to all of them. And then they have made their own resume. This resume can then be saved and published as an online tool. You can take this tool and have them shop out to several companies. You can have them shop out to some prospective jobs, some prospective, maybe they're thinking about internships. Maybe you have juniors and seniors. You can have them send their e-portfolio to any prospective bosses and get feedback on what the bosses thought, if they replied, why. Then you can have a brainstorm session. Why do you think bosses didn't reply to emails? Why do you think bosses did reply to, Jane's email and not Bobby's email? E-portfolio. These are good discussions to have with students because they don't know what makes a good resume and what makes a bad one. They don't know what employers are looking for. That's why these are good lessons to have inside of your classroom. And y'all are the tech teachers. Y'all get to tell them how to spruce it up, make it look nice. I call this the professional Facebook. Every time I look at it, that's what I think of it. Professional Facebook. We don't have to worry about any of our families photobombing us at this point. Just send this nice, clean e-portfolio link to a job and then see what happens. And if you don't get the kind of response you want, let's do some more brainstorming. Let's think about things we need to add. Let's look at wording. Let's look at word choices and let's clean it up because maybe that's the problem. And students get to keep on working on it. And if you're, as most BMITE teachers, you tend to have your students 2 to 3 years. In my program, I was with my teacher for 4 years. Lucky me. And we actually evolved the project as we went along because every year I grew and I had more vocabulary I wanted to use. I had more experiences I needed to add. You can also have students save things they've won. That's the one thing I love about this for career tech is career tech students have a chance to win awards. They have a chance to get certificates. They have a chance to be a part of different ambassadorships. They can save all of that. And the reason why this is so important, because if anybody is like me, when I was at my 12th grade year, I cannot remember anything I won. All of a sudden, I just went blank. And the colleges were like, what did you do? And I was like, I don't know, but I do have a GPA. How about that? And that was, I couldn't explain it. It was like somehow I magically had everything from 9th grade to 12th grade wiped out of my head. I don't even know what happened. So this tool is amazing because students can save every single thing along the way and be able to present it to an actual job, a college, a company, anything they desire. And when they graduate, it will go with them. And they can take away some things and add the new stuff from college. This is an ongoing tool that will grow. It is truly interactive because it grows with them. And they don't have to leave it behind. And that's probably the most valuable lesson you can teach these students as you integrate OKCG, is that this is your tool that grows with you. It is your personal assistant, your professional personal assistant. We'll call it PPA. And it goes with you. It is not mine. It does not belong to me. It belongs to you. And that is new to them. The whole thought of ownership is very new to a lot of students. Supporting another's success won't dampen yours. Molly Galbraith. And I put this in there because there are so many connect to business opportunities available for students to use their ePortfolio with. If you're in the Oklahoma, Moore area, Norman, we have tons of of different employers looking for people. We just had Red River, and I believe it was Total come on board with this as well. So they added alone to our systems almost 800 employers. They are looking for these students. There is not a company around right now that doesn't need a tech student. That's why I think you ladies are like amazing. Y'all are blessed. Y'all will always be needed because tech is forever evolving and we're not going to be moving away from it. And so if you want students to look at how to market resumes, you might want to take them over the connect to business side and let them look at job opportunities. Let them look at what they're looking for. Let them examine the language they're using in their jobs so they can model their resumes after it. A good side-by-side comparison means it can do wonders for students. And just to give you an idea, with Connect to Business, these are some of the companies that we have. We have PSO, we have Ray, Dot, Kimray. Kimray has an amazing technological system over there with their manufacturing. Everybody over there has to have some type of computer skill to be able to even work in the manufacturing in there. I was so impressed when I went on those, I believe they're OEIP tours. They're amazing. You learn so much from them. I personally love Dell because I use Dell. So some of the things the kids will know about, some of them they won't. So it's a good thing to take them over to the Connect to Business side and let them dig through those jobs, look at the companies, glean information from them, look at what kind of skills they need, and even talk about how they already have some of these skills. OKCG points that out. Help them understand that they are what they are looking for. Make that connection with them. And just to go over a few resources, this is just sum it up real quick. Once again, if you didn't get it, we do have the ctu.org website. It does have checklists. It has lesson plans. It has resources. It has best practices in there. You can find just about anything you want connected to OKCG at ctu.org. And if you cannot, I challenge you to call me because we will look for it or we will make it. That is what we're about. We're here to support you. That is what my whole team exists for. We are not here for ourselves. We're here to make sure you as teachers have what you need. That is what we believe in. We also have posters. If you need any kind of resources that you want to hang around your classroom, we have the posters. We have the next step booklet that the students can have in their hand, take home with them if they need them. We also have the OKCG Career Guide channel on YouTube where we actually I'm too close to Halloween, ladies, I'm sorry. We actually teach quick 5-minute, 2-minute lessons on how to dig for scholarships. That's another activity students can do because we have a huge scholarship base in OKCG. We also have the college base in OKCG where they can look at schools and see comparisons. And one thing OKCG did was they added more of the career tech schools in there. So you ladies are included too. They may see your school and say, hey, I want to stick it out with you. I want to stay with you and do another year. And then once again, we have the CTU resources. I just want to quickly show you, this is what Cooter Galaxy looks like. It is the elementary portion. If you work with any of the elementary schools or they're reaching out to you saying, hey, Miss So-and-so, can you show me something I can do with my kids? Well, there's Cooter Galaxy. We can get them set up. We can train them. We can get them started. And just to help you get a quick glimpse, at it, it is actually organized by grade level. It goes from pre-K through 5th. If you have any special needs students that have to use this, it's a good resource too for students who can't use the OKCG system because it's too much reading, too much involvement. And the one unique thing about it is no student will know what they're working on. It doesn't say, hey, 5th grader. It doesn't identify grade level at all. So it is a good fit for students you may have in your classroom who struggle. It does listening and reading introductions. They can watch videos, they can play games, they earn badges. They also have worksheets, and we also have all the curriculum as well. We developed it as well in the CTU system. If teachers want lesson plans, we have it. It also identifies the Oklahoma standards as well. So teachers, when they pull the lesson plan, they already know what standard that the lesson is going to answer. They don't have to go hunting and looking and trying to figure it out for themselves. We have done a lot of that work for you, and we have taken that stress off of you so that you can use the system. If you want to have an account that you play with so that students are not looking at your information or personal information, we do have an account that we call Sample Student. Its username is Sample Student. Its password is Sample Student. You can feel free to open that up on a PowerPoint and work with it with students so they can understand what you need them to do so that you're not necessarily exposing your data or another student's data. Sample student is played with by many people, so it's pretty rich in data because people have gone in there and experimented with it. If you need to show a parent how to do something in an account, you can use sample student. If you need to show your admin something about an account, you can use sample student. Also know that when you create it, if you want to create a fake student account, that's basically what it is. It's called sample student. It's our fake one. And be sure that when you are showing it to students, to set your school as ODCTE training, so that way you get the sample student data to line up and it's not showing anybody from your actual school, just in case one was created at your school. Just want to give you a minute to get that. If everybody has it. Are there any questions? I'm an open book.
But sample student can be changed by any teacher that's using that?
Yes.
Or is it, yeah.
Yes, you can change it, play with it, save it.
No, I meant, I don't have a unique sample student for me. Any teacher, we all use the same sample student, right?
Yes, everyone who we've shown it to in training has access to this account, and multiple users can get into it and use it and play with it. It's really just a sample account to demo if you want to do something quick with and you haven't had a chance to create something.
Okay, Latoya, thank you so much for spending time with us. We are out of time and need to move on, but if you will send me your presentation, I will share it out with teachers and it has your contact information. If there are any questions, they can reach out to you directly and start those conversations up. Thank you so much. We appreciate your enthusiasm and your energy and awesome presentation. So much good information.
Thank you, ladies. You have a wonderful day and good luck with this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, for those of you who came in during that presentation, if you would go out and sign in on our sign-in sheet, Paxton, if you would put that back in the chat room, that would be very helpful, please. There it is. Thank you very much. So if you would go out and just sign in so that we capture your attendance today, we would appreciate that. Okay. All right. Just a couple more presentations that I will get these presentations from both Latoya and from Carrie, and we'll place these out in our CTU advisory committee area, which is in the BMITE teacher resources, so that you have access to these presentations as well as mine that's getting ready to come up in just a minute. So you can use those resources later if you need that. Okay. Well, I was thinking there was one other thing I was going to share with you and I don't remember what that was. So we are going to move on and talk about some things that are impacting our division right now. I'll pull this up for you, share my screen. That in full screen mode so you can see that. Okay. So this presentation that I'm getting ready to share, some of the information came to you at Oklahoma Summit if you were in my presentation there, but I've had the opportunity to add more to it and make some changes to it, and actually gave this presentation to our state career tech board recently, and then also had the opportunity to give it to the superintendents as well. And there has been conversations that have been happening as a result of this information. So I thought this would be really valuable for you to see and hear as well, so that you know what they're talking about when you hear from them, or if you hear questions from your administration on some of this information. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm actually going to be sharing it again tomorrow with the instructional leaders. So I just wanted to pass this along, and all of it is very directly related to what we're going to be doing today as far as looking at our instructional framework. Everything that we're talking about has an impact on that framework. So once again, needing your input for that. So our staff, once again, is not changed. Jackie is our Region 2 specialist with the Business Management Cluster. Kathy is our Region 3 specialist with the Marketing and Finance clusters, and she unfortunately is not able to join us today. So you will get to be working with Paxton and with Pam today. Region 4 is Christy Lofton, and she is our IT cluster leader. And Paxton is our BPA and our DECA state advisor. And then Pam is our administrative assistant, and she's going to be helping us out today with the finance cluster. We are going to be getting a new addition to our staff, and so you're going to be wanting to know that information. We've got a young lady, Kyla Ellis, is going to be joining us as our part-time assistant, and she will be helping a lot with Paxton with the BPA and DECA activities. She's a former state officer in DECA, and she's just an amazing young lady. So we're excited that she's going to be joining us soon. The regions, just wanted to throw that up there again for you, just so you're aware of where our region boundaries are. Our program numbers right now, we've got 277 K-12 programs. We have 151 tech center programs, and working, of course, with both BPA and DECA programs. I always keep swinging back to the industry featuring panels. This is this work that we did was so important, and we're still getting the value and the benefits from the work that was done with these featuring panels. This was done in the summer of 2019, and these were the industries that were involved in that. In those 3 days that we had for the featuring panels, just some images of some of the work that happened over those 3 days. We did have a few teachers that joined us and kind of sat in and just listened. I think that was they expressed that it was a great experience, that they got to hear what they were telling us, and primarily, you know, we were asking them, what do they see in the future? What are the things that students need, the trends that are happening out there, and how can we better train our students and prepare our students for those skills that they're going to be needing as these trends continue in these different pathways that we work with. And so we were wanting them to provide valuable information to help us track some of that as we move forward with planning our instructional framework. Some of the trends that they identified that we're working into our, a lot of these we're trying to work now into our framework, has to do with automation and AI, Internet of Things, you know, all things that are in that AI kind of realm, virtual reality, the growing workforce, remote workforce, I'm sorry. And of course, this was pre-COVID. So, and how much has that been impacted now from the things that have happened with COVID? But then looking at big data analytics, how is that driving decision-making now? And then customer experience management, you know, once again, pre-COVID, you know, if you weren't comfortable making transactions online, most of us are now. I mean, we've been kind of forced into that framework where we are having to do these remote transactions now to get just normal functions, normal activities, normal goods and services that we would go out and purchase ourselves. Now we're doing those things online, and it's more important that we figure out what is that customer experience that they have in that whole, you know, they talked about journey mapping. What is that journey that we take through purchasing a service or a good? Everything that happens, what's every contact point and what's happening with that transaction. And so that's become really important, and something we've started trying to work into the marketing cluster area, and then social media, and then the differences that technology changes are how those changes are being embraced. And so a lot of that conversation had to do with age differences. You know, the younger students, there's no fear. They just get in and start pressing buttons, and they're not intimidated by the technology, where some of the older generation maybe not quite as comfortable with that online experience and those technological changes. So they're seeing that in their workforces as well. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to that, but that was kind of a trend that they felt like was impacting their worlds. And then blockchain technology, and we'll talk just a little bit about that in a minute. But there's other trends in addition to just the technology trends. There were several different things that we talked about, and the different groups. It was just interesting, the dynamics and all the different groups, and the marketing group. One of the areas that they felt like had really impacted the work that they do centered around the cannabis industry and natural energy. And you can imagine the conversations that went around on the cannabis topic. And we had a lot of fun with that one. I think it was interesting listening to their conversations there, and how that the normal rules just kind of go out the window when you're dealing with that type of an industry and the way it works. If you haven't had an opportunity to take a look at that report yet, I wanted to provide you another link to that. The link actually takes you out to MBA Research, the organization that we worked with in order to come down and facilitate these panels. I'll talk more in a little bit about MBA Research, but they're a nonprofit educational organization, and they're responsible for working nationwide to come up with national standards in the business administration area, which would be business, marketing, finance, entrepreneurship, hospitality and tourism, those areas. And so the work, Oklahoma is a consortium state member of this organization, and we're one of 27 states that participate in this organization. And I'm actually on my second term on serving on this board right now. And in that role, I was able to see what was happening, what they were doing with other states across the nation. And one of the things that they were doing were these futuring panels. And I was so impressed with the things that had come out of the work that they were doing in these. I knew I wanted to bring that to Oklahoma and have that happen here. And so so they put this all together in a report. So they take all this input from these industry representatives that came in and participated, and they went back and they took our Oklahoma data and they took the nationwide data, but I wanted them to specifically focus on things that are in Oklahoma, the data in Oklahoma and the employment opportunities that are there or not there. And so they put all of this together, and it's like a 90-page report. And it's just filled with a lot of really good information. So I wanted to make sure that you had access to that report again. It's on their website, and as well as other states' reports that they've done is also on that website as well. So I just wanted to share that with you again. When we talk about trending technologies, so when you take into account the information that came out of this futuring panel report, as well as just what we're hearing from you teachers and from administrators across the state, we wanted to make sure that we focus on that today as we look at our instructional framework. So the first one has to do with drone technologies. And I just wanted to highlight some of the areas and the ways that drones are impacting what we do as far as our division in BMITE. And Latoya, I see you're still on there, and it just reminded me. I wanted to be sure and point out to you, we do have a lot of women in our division, but there's also a lot of men on this call as well. We have both. And you kept saying ladies, and I'm thinking she's just seeing all of our pictures on there, not realizing that it's not just women, it's women and men in our division. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. And I was taught by a man all 4 years in computer tech, but thank you very much for that support.
Yeah. So we've got programs now that are utilizing drone technology as they're in their training programs. And these are some of the areas that I pulled up that, it certainly impacts what we do in BMITE. So I wanted to include this information. And I know that Christy is going to focus a little bit more on this when she has the IT group with her. But, we're looking at not only drone as a tool within different programs, because it fits into doing so many different things within all of your programs. But, is there an opportunity for us to also develop its own pathway, its own outcome with the certification, the drone certification, the pilot certification being done at the end of that occupational area, like a series of courses. So I know she's going to want to think about putting together a focus group to look deeper into that and determine, do we just keep it as maybe a course or two, or is it just incorporated into courses that we already have as a tool? Or is it a combination of all that, and then we develop a sequence of courses that ends in some type of an outcome for drone use? So I just wanted to put that out there, throw that out there to the entire group to let you know that's an area that we're looking at. Something else just kind of for fun that I put in there because I'm not sure that it it really is going to, we're not maybe going to get to this level, but the autonomous area vehicles, the AAVs, those are becoming more and more popular in conversations. And robo-taxis, it's just kind of amazing to think about, getting in one of these and there's nobody there, they're just flying you around. But anyway, vertiports, so they're looking at buying up these acreages to be able to land these AAVs. So anyway, there's companies that are developing their own autonomous transportation drones. And so I just wanted to throw that in there as well, because I think this is just so interesting. And then artificial intelligence and machine learning. This obviously is an area that impacts everyone. If you've got a smartphone, you've got a it's a smartphone, and it's capable of learning. When you talk to Siri, Siri learns your what you're usually meaning, what you're asking for. It just continues to grow and learn. And so this is another area when we look at AI. Obviously, it's integrated into everything, but is it also its own pathway? Is it a separate course? There are universities, that are starting to build programs around AI. What does that look like for our IT cluster? And how do we implement these needs? Because this is just going to keep growing. Obviously, this is a big area. And, we don't want to get left behind. We want to make sure we're on the front side of this, and that we're providing what is needed and what is needed in your areas. We want our students to be employable or to go on to college in these areas. But so what does that look like? What do we need that to look like? So once again, forming a focus group to look closer into this area and determining where do we go with this? What do we need to do? And then virtual and augmented reality. We have programs, once again, that are very much involved in the virtual reality area, and augmented reality as well. We're all like the IKEA app, that as the example here I have on the slide. You can use your own home and figure out what is a chair or a piece of furniture going to look like once you get that in your home. When you think about the different apps where you can go out, and if you want to get a new hairstyle, what's that going to look like on you? That's another example there. So obviously this area is just going to keep growing as well. And we want to make sure that we're in tune with what's needed and getting you what you need in these areas as well. Then Internet of Things and cybersecurity. Once again, this is just, the Internet of Things is just blowing up. Everything is connected. Everything talks to each other. We've got the course Internet of Things, but is it bigger than just that? And then that ties in also, I think, with the AI conversation that we're having. And then cybersecurity, with that area is in desperate need of people to be employed in this type of area, because everything that we create, every new device, everything that's being connected has to be secured. And so, we're getting cybersecurity breaches all the time. You're hearing that on the news every day now. People are hacking into our voting system, and there's just everywhere you turn, you're hearing of cybersecurity issues. And so this is definitely a need. We have several programs in this area, but I think this is just another case of something that's just going to keep growing for us. And then I wanted to share this slide again. We have several programs that are really getting interested in the esports area. And this particular one is actually a feature that was done on Putnam City. And I don't think he's joined us today, that our teacher there, I don't think he's on, but anyway, we had the opportunity to look at his program year before last, I think, and he was really growing his program leaps and bounds. He took an area where there wasn't a lot of interest in participating in class, and now he's got a waiting list, and the students are actually lined up and waiting after school is over, because they want to get into that classroom and they want to practice for these esports activities that they're having. So it's like an extracurricular on top of what they're already doing, but the focus is around programming, of course. And so it's taking these programming courses and then offering this additional fun activity for students where they can also write competitive programs, competitive sports programs or whatever gaming program it is, and compete in those as well as just the regular esports programs as well. So anyway, if you're interested in this, we can get you connected with this group. He actually did a presentation for us at Oklahoma Summit. So that would be something that's been recorded, and you can go out and actually listen to that on our YouTube channel, where we have saved those recordings. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but this is kind of a fun, exciting new area for students maybe who are not active maybe in other sports and need some activity to get them interested in being in school. This might be an option if you're interested in teaching programming in what you're offering programming as one of your courses there. And then blockchain technology is something I think we have to look at as well. You think of blockchain technology as a Bitcoin, encryption, the cryptocurrencies, but now the financial institutions are starting to look at blockchain technology because it's a safer way to protect data, because it's not all in one location, it's spread out. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that, but I just wanted to point out that that's another area that we probably need to be doing some thinking about as well in the IT area. Instructional framework changes. So taking all of that information, what have we done with it? What are some things we're starting to do? Kathy led a group that did a complete revision of Fund of Tech and incorporated some of these technologies or introductions to these technologies in that new course. If you haven't had the opportunity yet, you need to get out and take a look at that course. It's significantly pages smaller. So we tried to consolidate that a little bit better. It's still centered around IC3, but it's a much cleaner looking syllabus now. And lots of resources have been added that teachers provided for us. And once again, we still need your input as we're actually using it now this year. And we hope to hear back from you and find out, okay, what's working? Is there a different direction maybe we should have gone with this? But anyway, we're still looking for feedback in Fund of Tech, especially in the area of resources and what's working as you're teaching this course. And then new program options, computer science, engineering prep. So there's a track now in the IT programming area for it's really geared towards college. So you're planning to go into computer science engineering, and these are the upper level computer science courses sequencing. And then customer experience manager, I talked about that already. The digital marketing specialist, so that's focused on social media. And then financial planning assistant. So with all of the need for data analytics and financial analysis, this is an area we felt like was important that we get that added into what we're doing. We'll be looking to the finance group to help us develop this better. And then new program options, looking into AI, looking into drones, and then the data analytics for business management. We want to encourage cybersecurity program development. I think that's a real important area, a really strong area for growth. So we certainly want to encourage people to get involved and in the cybersecurity program development, and then the Cyber Patriot program that goes along with that supports that. And then we just cleaned up the sequence of courses. We did a lot of work on that over the summer, and we rolled that out at Oklahoma Summit. And so we're still looking for your input and your feedback on what maybe we took something out that we shouldn't have taken out, but we wanted you to keep in mind that we wanted to make it more of these are your suggested sequence of courses and these are the areas, but you can veer off of that as technology center programs. You can add courses to that. You can change these courses around. If they're not Oklahoma Promise Credit, you can't touch those. But you can determine if there's a better course suited in your area to teach a certain course that we have laid out there. You have the ability to do that. So you have a lot of freedom. And we didn't want to, we had so many options, especially in the IT area. It was like everyone's variation of every occupational outcome was in there. And it was just overwhelming when you tried to keep all of that up and maintain it. a lot of those courses weren't developed. We hadn't developed those. Those had been developed independently. And so we just tried to clean all that up and come up with, here's a simple sequence of courses to start with. And that's very helpful for high school teachers, especially coming in to, and middle school teachers, to try to figure out where they fit in to that big picture. And when you look at all those options, it was just overwhelming. So we tried to clean that up and just come up with, maybe one, if it was a larger area, say like in the cybersecurity or the networking area, come up with two options, a short one and a longer one. And then give you the ability to then say, okay, that really won't work for us here because we need to do this course or this course. And that's completely fine. We just wanted to make it more simple to understand and for everyone to follow. I hope that makes sense. So then the Cyber Patriot program, if you're interested in that, you need to get in touch with Christy Lofton. It's a great program offered at the middle school and high school level to come up with teams to compete. And we've had a lot of programs and tech centers that have had success competing and going to the national level. And but also the high schools can get involved with this too. There's so much support. They've got so many business reps that have come in primarily from Dell, but there are from other areas as well that come in and help work with these teams and prepare them for competitions. And, they've been recording these sessions from these industry leaders so you can take back and watch them again. Anyway, just a really great program. This is just another slide of kind of an example of what they would see in their competitions. Just a great opportunity for students. So encourage you to do that. As far as professional development, of course, we did the Teacher Academy virtually this year. And the YouTube channel, this just continues to grow. If you just go out and search for OK BMITE on YouTube, you will find us, and you can see that we've got a playlist developed for each of the conferences that we've had. So you can go out and listen to pieces of those conferences, those workshops that we've done, or the whole thing, whatever you would like. But this is a great opportunity, a great addition, I think, to what we're offering teachers to support what you're doing. We've got a lot of return to learn support out there as well. So I wanted to make sure that you had the links to those so you can go out and see some of those. Shared some from Georgia as well in that, and then just some more direct links. So I'll just scroll right on past those. Adobe Max, unfortunately, it's going on right now at the same time. We didn't realize when we planned this last year that Adobe Max was going to be virtual and it was going to be free. What a great opportunity. If you've not participated in Adobe Max before, I encourage you to do that. I think you can still actually get signed up. I was reading something this morning that said it's not too late. So if you haven't done that before, you may want to try to listen in on that. If you teach anything Adobe related, great speakers, great opportunities to I'm thinking if I was a teacher, I would probably be watching it and letting my kids watch it with me. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. And then our statewide agreement with Journey Ed and on Adobe products, the Adobe Creative Cloud. We've got the new licensing in this year. It's $15 per user. So, and there's no minimum. That's the big deal. There's no minimum number you have to purchase when you participate in this agreement. All of this information is on CTU under curriculum. So if you want to take advantage of that, certainly do that. They've included some video here that you might want to look at and see how it all works. So anyway, I just wanted to share that information with you. And then just finished up with MBA Research's Conclave 2020. It's so good. If you're in the business administration area, which once again is the business, finance, marketing, entrepreneurship, hospitality area, this is probably one of the best conferences you could participate in. And this year it was virtual, of course. And the teachers that we've had that participate in this would tell you it's one of the best conferences that they can go to that's specific to their areas. There's a lot of great speakers. They get industry speakers from areas where they're doing this conference. And those are always the most interesting to me. And then they bring in teachers that share content and I sat in on so many. Katrina McDowell, she's one of our teacher advisory representatives from High Plains. She did a presentation and she shared a lot of really good information. And I said, oh my gosh, Katrina, you need to do that presentation for our division as well, because a lot of those resources and information that she had to share were so spot on and so good. So just really good information. One of the things that I did want to go ahead and pass along to you from one of the sessions that I attended, one of the groups that always participate is Youth Entrepreneurs, YE. So I know some of our schools do entrepreneurship activities with their classes. If you do, I would really encourage you to look up YE Academy. That's Youth Entrepreneurs Academy. So it's yeacademy.org. And they have money. You can actually sign up to participate and potentially get money that you can use to for a variety of things that you can use those resources for in your entrepreneurship program or entrepreneurship class that you're teaching. Anyway, and they also shared another site that they had developed and put together that had already had the resources and videos and things, all lesson plans all put together that you could use in your classroom in a virtual environment. It's called Teach. Oh gosh, what was that? Teacheverywhere.org. So teacheverywhere.org is a site that looked really amazing. I haven't had time to get out there and play with it, but the things that they were showing on it were really quality resources that were already put together that you could just throw into your classroom. So and all that's free. So certainly encourage you to go out and use those resources if it's something that you would be interested in. But encourage you next year, as I send out information about Conclave next year, it will be in Ohio. It's going to be their 50th year anniversary. Think about attending if you've not done that before, or even if you have done it before. Great conference. It really is a good conference. And then more professional development, we have the Master Educator program now that has all the free professional development that you can participate in. Encourage you to think about doing that. And then our Career Tech Teacher Academy will be on, the next one will be on the January the 28th. We're not sure yet whether it will be virtual or live. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be virtual again, but that's another great opportunity. And then our website, we put that information out there. Then I just wanted to also just share that there is a business education Facebook group out there that is really has a lot of great resources. Teachers are posting free lessons and ideas out there. We don't run that I'm not promoting it. I'm just telling you, I do follow that group and it has a lot of really good information. And then of course the BMITE teacher advisory meeting which you're at today. And then of course our communication, just reinforcing once again, we send out Monday Madness almost every week on Mondays. Sometimes it comes out on Tuesday if it's crazy in here on Mondays, but that's where our primary source of information is coming to you. So please hang on to those, put those in a folder in your email inbox somewhere, but that's where you're getting the primary bulk of what we put together rather than individual emails that we send out. And then follow us on Twitter. And then, of course, as always, our resources are on CTU and then our websites. So that is it for my presentation. I'm going to escape out of that and stop sharing my screen. I think we've got, yeah, it's an old picture of us, right? Okay. So we're running a little bit late on our schedule, but that's fine. We're going to get ready to move into our focus groups. And I'll share this once more. Let me get back over here. Can you see my agenda now on the screen? Okay. All right. So our breakout groups are going to be in each of our cluster areas. and then our K-12 teachers. Now, some of you may, if you are a K-12 teacher and there's something that you want to learn about a specific cluster area, and you would rather move into the cluster area first, you're welcome to do that. You're also going to be welcome to change from one group to the other if you would like to do that. But primarily, I'll be visiting with the K-12 program separately. I know in the marketing area, you'll want to for sure hit the marketing cluster first before you would come to my group, and you can stay in the marketing cluster. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you would rather participate in, but wherever you feel like your feedback or your questions would be answered best, that's where you'll want to move to as far as the focus group area. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Paxton, do you want to share with them the process for getting to those rooms?
Yes, so I'm about to open up the rooms, and you're going to, if everything works right, you're going to get a box on your screen that kind of is a pop-up, and it should allow you to choose which breakout rooms you go to. So whichever one you choose first will be where you are transported to first, and then you can always leave that room, and from what we practiced this morning with the new feature, you can go back to a different room and pick and choose what you want to go to. So if not, though, I will be here to help move you into rooms and all of that. So let's just go ahead and try it. So I'm about to open up the rooms, and you'll see all of the rooms are named, and you can choose which ones you go to. Okay, so those are open. Shortly, you should be getting a pop-up. Perfect. Okay, so I'm seeing some people get into their rooms. So BMITE staff, if you want to head over to your rooms as well.
Are we supposed to be seeing the codes?
You should see a pop-up box. If not, then, I mean, no, okay, no, okay.
Mine says
Mine-
the
mine
host
I
is
see 'em.
to be assigned.
Do what?
I see.
Mine says the host has opened breakout rooms. Please wait to be assigned.
Okay, so if you have seen us, let's see. Okay, Carrie and Jackie, did you all get your invitations?
No, I didn't get an invitation.
Okay.
Oh, I just did. So I'm heading out.
Okay, I just got it, Paxton. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. We were hoping that the new feature would be so helpful. Okay, so we'll just go through it, and we'll get you guys in there as soon as we can. Andrea Long, where are you going?
Business management.
Angela Brownfield, where are you going? Okay. Chad wants to go to IT. Kim Smith wants to go to IT. Okay. Give me a second in the chat, because once you guys all start putting out your chat stuff in there, it's all going to disappear. Let's see. Kim, you're going to IT. Tina Davis. Christy Whitfield sending yours. Darren Lackey sending yours. Meredith sending yours. Angela Luttrell sending yours. Melissa Hula sending yours. Emily Goff, sending yours. Lori Abel. LaDonna Miller. Denise Wilkinson, sending yours. Jana Moore, sending yours. Dana Stevens. Jennifer LeMasters. Mr. Fatkin, you're going to stay here because I'm doing marketing for Kathy. So once I get everyone assigned, we'll do ours.
Okay.
Krista Meyer, sending yours. Marilyn, sending yours. Trent, sending yours. Brandy, sending yours. Stacy, you'll stay here. Sharon, sending yours. Dr. Coleman, sending yours. Jacob Robinson, sending yours. Brandy Peace, are you going to go to IT or to K-12? Okay, I'm not seeing her. Debbie Taranis, sending you to K-12. Sherry, sending your invitation. Stacy Oakley, I'm going to send you to K-12. Tracy Cox, sending you to IT. Cassandra, sending you. Tracy Spencer, sending, would you rather go to finance or business? Tracy. Okay, I'll send you to finance first since that's what you put. Lindsay Ramirez, sending yours. Jody Keith, sending yours. Lucas Smith, sending you to IT. Michelle sent you. Jerry, sending you to K-12. We're getting there, guys. Okay, Christy, you didn't get an invite to IT. Let's try it again.
Just got it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see. Tammy Balia, are you going to finance? Okay, Brian Holland.
IT, please.
Okay, thank you. Diana Bowen. Where are you wanting to go? I think you're on mute, Diana.
Business.
Business, okay. Yeah, I'll send you there. Thank you. Sorry, thanks for your patience. Angela, can you hear me? Okay, Angela, if you hop on, I can move you, and Tammy, if you hop on, then I can move you once you let me know where you want to go. Okay, thank you for your patience, Mr. Fatkin. I appreciate it. Okay, was really hoping that the new feature was going to make breakout rooms easier. Best laid plans.
No, you do disappoint, right?
Okay, so Kathy is going to end up sending a marketing email to all of the marketing instructors since she wasn't here and there are some changes coming up. So do you have anything right off the top of your head that you're wanting changed in the marketing fundamentals group?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Okay, that's a pretty broad question.
Yes.
Can you narrow that down for me a bit?
Well, okay, so
What's
that's
on the
the
table here?
next. They just did Fund of Tech, and they changed that syllabus pretty much completely. So
Right.
she's going to be working on changing the marketing fundamentals syllabus next. So then that's a pretty big undertaking. So that's something that she's going to be talking to all of you about.
Okay.
I just got a private message. So I know that's something that you'll be getting in an email from her. So what she's wanting to know, or maybe, do you have some challenges that you're facing? Is there something that could be changed? And this could even be just in your classroom too, but mainly today focusing on that marketing fundamentals syllabus.
Yeah.
Are there industry trends that you think should be added into that, and that sort of thing?
That's a very narrow, do I have any challenges in that? So I would say probably not that much.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I could give you 5 minutes of why, but I'm pulling in a lot of different, the beauty of what I get to do with you guys is I have access to a lot of curriculum. So,
right.
And like going through ICV, it's already aligned with it. So whatever changes they make in it, they're going to stay aligned with, and I'll supplement it where I need to. I mean, I'll answer her questions however she wants me to try to.
Okay, perfect. And I don't know, she may try to arrange like a call with you all where you guys can all get on and chat, or it may be a survey type thing or both. That's really all I have for kind of what she wanted me to intro, is be thinking about things that you might want changed within the marketing curriculum, but specifically the big one that she's taking on is that marketing fundamentals this year. Be expecting an email from her, and she would love your participation in that. Carrie wanted me to really encourage you to attend MBA Conclave this next year. Especially, they do partner a lot with DECA, so it is really great for marketing teachers to go to. So if you're able to do that, I would encourage you to do.
I try to do everything I can with you guys. The problem that I got into with that this time was you scheduled that right on top of our parent-teacher conferences, and I'm in class, so it wasn't an option for me.
Right. Well, and I think
I told you that, but you can't hit everybody's schedule. I get that. Okay.
Right. Well, and that's completely separate from us. We promote it because we're members of MBA, but that they do all their own scheduling and everything. And I think that next year, if they can, with it being their 50th anniversary, it probably will be on site in Ohio.
Okay. I've got another question while we're on that MBA research. You will probably know the answer to this. Is you got to understand, I'm sorting through about 3 different online curriculum things right now. We have access to all of them. I attended a couple of sessions in one of my things with you. I don't remember which one. We have access to a lot of their stuff that's like part of our contract with them for the state. I don't know how to get at that. Okay.
Okay. Let me make a note of that, and Carrie and Kathy can get you added.
And who I asked was somebody from Moore who loves it, but she was out on maternity leave. I think you've heard of that, right? Being out on maternity leave.
Yeah, slightly.
And she had a lot on her plate when I asked her. So, yeah.
I'll get you access to that. I'll ask Carrie and Kathy to add you to that. Because we do have access to all of it, being members. And then if you heard Carrie talk about youth entrepreneurs, the YE.
I did got my message about having to step in and out, and youth entrepreneurs thing I missed most of. I'm going to go back and listen to all this. But
okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll have it posted on YouTube probably this afternoon.
Between internet glitches and having to go back and keep kids focused behind me, which was okay. Probably missed about 30% of what y'all did this morning.
Okay. Yeah, no, basically they have money that they're willing to give you all. And virtual resources as well that you all can utilize in your classroom. So she was really encouraging you all to look into that. And I think it was youthentrepreneurs.org. And she talks about it in the session. I'll have it all posted on YouTube later this afternoon, most likely.
Give me a link to that.
Let me pull one up right now.
Okay. In case I forget how to spell entrepreneurs.
That's a big word. Okay, so I'm going to put one in chat. And I know they do have representatives in Oklahoma. So I think that if you end up being interested in it, that someone would reach out to you and help you with your specific area that's familiar with, you know, more in central Oklahoma and things like that.
Okay.
Did you
Yeah,
find- Okay.
that's kind of the interesting part, and you know this, interesting part of the guys and ladies that get plugged into what I do is we tend to be like sometimes the one person in the building that came at this from a different direction.
Right.
Mine is, if I have anything to bring to this at my age, it's the context I have in the community. So I'm really steering hard towards the WBL stuff and advisory groups and that kind of thing. So that and the Perkins 5 stuff, that I got to get that stuff in my head better. So.
Okay, perfect. Do you want me to move you over to the K-12 group with Carrie?
Do I need to go there?
She's encouraging all K-12 teachers to go there after their sessions. Is that okay? Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try to get you added to that MBA stuff today.
That'll work great. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so you should have your invite.
I got it.
Okay, perfect. Hey, Shelly, how are you? Do you want to go to K-12 or are you wanting to go to finance this morning? Okay, Shelly and Tammy and Angela, once you guys have a chance to tell me where you want to go, I can move you to those rooms. Hey, Kim, did you get kicked out or do you?
I'm going to have to
move?
leave. I left Paxton a note. Not Paxton, sorry. I'm talking to Paxton. Christy.
Okay.
Christy a note in the chat that if she needed me to help in any way on committees or whatever, and I can reach out to who was the other gentleman that was wanting Darren. If you need some help on something, I'll be happy to serve on a committee. Especially if we're doing them virtually, it's pretty easy to slip in a meeting here and there.
Okay,
and
perfect.
I have other ones later today. So.
Okay, well, thank you for letting me know. I'll check in with Christy and make sure she got that message from you.
Perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.